Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hari Bol.
Anant, are you still there?
Hare Krishna. All right.
He's not hearing us?
He's there somewhere.
Yes.
He's somewhere. He's circling.
Not too far.
Yeah,
He's there.
Hare Krishna. Jai. All right, who's next?
Anant.
Yeah, Anant. Before something else drags you away, we want to hear you chant.
Sorry, Mataji. I was unable to completely hear your kirtan. I had to go outside. My mother called me.
Oh.
Are you free to chant a little bit for us? I mean, for Krishna, are you free to
Sure,
do
Mataji.
Okay.
Sure. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Shodanandana Vrajanandana Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yamulatira Vanachari Yamulatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, पंच तत्व की जय, भक्त तुलसी महाराज की जय, श्रीमद् भागवत भगवद गीता की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्री की जय, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांस च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांस च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री गौनिताय की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Nice. Govinda. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
So we continue reading the Bhagavad Gita, Mataji?
Yes, but where were we? Where?
I think we were somewhere first 26 or something. 25, 26 was. You read with Mother Tunga Vidya, I think, up till verse 24.
Yes. And if we're repeating the verse, it's no harm.
I think 26 is the next verse, if I'm right. 25, what's happening? 25 or 26, one of the two. Shall we repeat 25?
What is it?
Chapter 2. Okay, Mother.
Chapter 2, verse 25.
Okay. Who?
What's the last one?
Start to read Anant Prabhu? What do you think? Anant should start?
Yes.
No, Mataji, I think it's better you start.
Yes, the youngest person should start. Isn't it Mata? Meena Mata?
I don't know if there's a hard and fast rule like that. Whoever wants to, is ready.
Okay.
Are you ready? You want to?
The verse is this one. What is that? Tatra pasyat sthitam partha.
225.
Where are you? Okay, 225 or 226.
Pramukta. Okay. This is not the one, right? Okay.
I think you're in the wrong chapter. Chapter 2?
Chapter 2.
Verse 25.
I am there in the second. I am there in the first chapter. I think I have to go.
Avyaktoyam achintoyam is the first.
All right. So, are you ready, or maybe somebody else start, and then Anant can.
I'll read then till he finds the verse.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mataji, got it.
Got it. Then you read.
Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmad evam vidit vainam nanu shochitam harahasi. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, immutable, and unchangeable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. As described previously, the magnitude of the soul is so small for our material calculation that he cannot be seen even by the most powerful microscope. Therefore, he is invisible. As far as the soul's existence is concerned, no one can establish his existence experimentally beyond the proof of Shruti or Vedic wisdom. We have to accept this truth because there is no other source of understanding the existence of the soul, although it is a fact by perception. There are many things we have to accept solely on the grounds of superior authority. No one can deny the existence of his father based upon the authority of his mother. There is no other source of understanding the identity of the father except the authority of the mother. Similarly, there is no other source of understanding the soul except by studying the Vedas. In other words, the soul is inconceivable by human experimental knowledge. The soul is consciousness and conscious. That also is the statement of the Vedas, and we have to accept that. Unlike the bodily changes, there is no change in the soul, as eternally unchangeable. The soul remains atomic in comparison to the infinite supreme soul. Okay. The supreme soul is infinite, and the atomic soul is infinitesimal. Therefore, the infinitesimal soul, being unchangeable, can never become equal to the infinite soul or the supreme personality of Godhead. This concept is repeated in the Vedas in different ways just to confirm the stability of the conception of the soul. Repetition of something is necessary in order that we understand the matter thoroughly without error. Mataji, Meena Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
This last line is today I've come across a Facebook post telling that repetition, like Krishna consciousness, is all about repetition. It should be always. We should always repeat the process to understand it much better. I think it is like a renewal, Mataji. Like we should repeat the process because we have to renew ourselves always. Because I don't know about you people, but as far as I am concerned, I am like a person who has to be renewed all the time. Like you push me to a certain you like there are some intervals of repeat my this thing constancy in Krishna consciousness. The first, I'm a little less. Second, I get a little sincere. Third, I become firm. I become so regular for a particular time, and then slowly get attracted to material things, and then get deviated and completely stop. And again comes the first process. This has been happening to me long, like since I have started. So I feel repetition, like getting renewed all the time, is really Krishna consciousness. Maybe I should be beyond that after a certain time, but now it is happening to me.
Yes,
Because I was not available for the sessions.
it's a
Majority of the reasons, the basic reason was this, and I had one more reason. Like I had some guests in my house, but the basic reason was this. I was in the last stage. Now I had to come to first.
It can be a gradual process. It can be gradual.
It's a gradual process, Mati. Like that day we were talking about a bamboo tree, like bamboo. It has to be watered constantly for for 5 years and 6 months. Only then it starts coming out to be a 70 or 90 feet tall tree. Like that's really appealing example to me. Like I should never feel that. It's a self-motivating example that I should never fail. I should never fail in doing what I'm supposed to do. I should always have faith that at some day I will become that bamboo tree. That I should do. I was feeling so guilty yesterday.
Your understanding is Your understanding is very good. You can see, you have the consciousness of what's happening. And then what happens is you're able to cut it back. You can recognize when it's beginning sooner. So you don't have to go through the whole thing where you're way out in the middle of nowhere and then have to come all the way back. You begin to recognize what's happening. And as it starts, then you start to cut it back, and pretty soon it's gone. So the fact that you're seeing, you're recognizing what's happening, you're starting that cutting back process. But it can take a while, and it can be painful, because you think you've got it under control, and then there you are out in left field again. Oh my God, how did I get out here again? I thought I had it under control. But it's like baby learning to walk. And you're getting it. It's wonderful. What you're sharing is wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah.
I think I am having much powerful realizations because of presence of Vaishnavas, like my association with Vaishnavas. Because I myself, because you are the basic driving force in the present moment is you are hang or like you are sending invitations right on Google Plus and Facebook. Those are the basic driving forces. Why? Because to make myself eligible to sit in this session, I should be Krishna conscious. I should have Krishna in my mind, and that's the basic driving force. And why that is the driving force? Because I should not feel that I should not destroy the mood of devotees. I should not destroy the other person. I should not my presence should not disturb others. I should be in the mood of them. My mood should be equal to others' mood to sit amongst a group. So that is the basic driving force. The invitations which are sending me every day are telling, "Yaar, what are you doing? You are getting invitations to join the session and join the session at 7:30 in the evening. What are you doing? Nonsense. What are you doing in the evening? What are you doing in the morning? You're doing shit. Better go back to do what you're doing previously, and you make yourself eligible for sitting in the session." That is what I'm feeling, Mother. That is a very strong, powerful force, you know.
Yes.
Your invitations, the moment I get your invitation, I said, oh,
Yes.
what am I doing? What am I doing? I just got invitation from Meena Mataji. I should go back. I should go back. I should do what I'm supposed to do. That is the basic driving force, Mataji.
It's all part of it. Association is like, it's all part, that's all part of it. It's all part of it.
It's also,
Just getting here is like,
yes. You're having the same effect on me, Mataji, with this boats. Reminds me, and I'm thinking, I got to get my act together and be there, at least show my face. So it moves us along.
I feel the same way. I'm like, why am I posting? What am I doing?
It's really kind of, it's helping us, so it's a good thing.
Like you should never give up this set. Like you should never give it up, Balaji. Like maybe I think this is my only demand from you. Never give up these sessions, Balaji. Like I was really shocked that day when you said, like I want to take some break for the sessions. I was really shocked. Are yaar, what is this? I'm just trying to get back, and Mataji is telling there are no sessions. Yeah, that was yesterday mostly.
These things.
Please don't stop it, Mataji. Please don't stop it.
You know
I
why?
am dependent on Krishna, and I indirectly dependent upon you.
We're all dependent on Krishna, so these sessions are not static. They're not static. They're alive because we're trying to depend on Prabhupada. We're hearing from Prabhupada, and actually Prabhupada is actually present here in the form of his books and his teachings. So it's a lot. We're alive. It's a lot. It's not a static thing. Prabhupada is here, and we're trying to get the mercy. And this will go on. A lot of things go on. There, get ready. It can get really wild because it's Lord Chaitanya's movement, and Lord Chaitanya is a pretty wild character. He's something else, Lord Chaitanya. His mood is wide open. So there's a lot that will go on. In whatever we can do, we're fortunate. Even just a few minutes is going to have an effect. So, it's like hang on. It's like a bucking bronco. I have to hang on. And it's good. What you're sharing is really, really nice. And it'll come and go, and there'll be a lot of tests. But we just do what we can. Just be sincere. We're sincerely trying to serve Krishna and Prabhupada. We have a chance to do something here. So we do the best we can. We're all in the same boat, really. I've just been practicing a lot longer, that's all. But it doesn't mean that, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. I have to get the mercy too. We all have to get the mercy. I've just been practicing a little longer, that's all. So, any more on that? Want to keep going?
Yeah, Mataji.
Oh, there was something we covered in that purport yesterday that I really liked. Do you remember?
Yes, we came across that line. Where did it go?
The mother is the
memory
only...
is so bad. Yes, the mother. Yes, if you want to know who your father is, you ask your mother. But then I was making that point that in this Kali Yuga, we cannot always trust the version of the mother either, because Kali Yuga has become so degraded, and people usually. And you were saying like when Srila Prabhupada wrote these books, there was no DNA and tests and things like that. So the only way to find out who your father was like asking your mother, and then you would normally you would think your mother will tell you the truth, so that was accepted practice. Yeah, but you were saying that goes for the human society, but society has today degraded to practically animal society, so the same doesn't apply. Did I miss anything, Mataji?
That's what we were discussing. Yeah, we were discussing that Prabhupada's talking about human beings here. You can trust your mother, but not animals. it's different.
Yes.
So this is for human. He's talking about human beings here. If you want to know who your father is, you go to your mother. Human beings, but if
Yes.
people are like animals, then they're saying that.
Then yeah, it doesn't apply.
Oh, human beings. No. Because only human beings would be interested in the Vedas anyway.
Yeah.
Animals not interested in Vedic knowledge.
I know.
Yeah. No. Oh, okay. Good one.
You ready to carry on?
Mataji,
Yes, please.
can I carry on?
Yes, please.
At chayanam nitya jatam nityam va manyase pratam tatapi tvam mahabaho nainam sochitam arhasi. If, however, you think that the soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament, O mighty aunt. There is always a class of philosophers, almost akin to the Buddhists, who do not believe in the separate existence of soul beyond the body. Oof. Beyond the body. When Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, it appears that such philosophers existed, and they were known as the Lokayatikas and Vaibhavasikas. These philosophers maintained that life symptoms or soul takes place at certain mature condition of material combination. The modern material scientist and materialistic philosopher are also think similarly. According to them, the body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain stage, the life symptoms develop by interaction of the physical and chemical elements. The science of anthropology is based on this philosophy. Currently, many pseudo religions, now becoming fashionable in America, are also adhering to this philosophy, as well as the nihilistic non devotional Buddhist sects. Even if Arjuna did not believe in the existence of the soul as in the Vaibhavasika philosophy, there would still have been no cause for lamentation. No one laments the loss of certain bulk of chemicals and stops discharging his prescribed duties. On the other in modern science and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to the Vaibhavasika philosophy, the so-called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul or whether did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament. According to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished every moment, there is no need to grieve for such an incident. However, since he was not risking rebirth of the soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid of being affected with sinful reactions due to his killing his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically addressed Arjuna as Mahabahu, mighty armed, because he at least did not accept the theory of the Vaibhavasikas, which leaves aside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to Vedic culture, and it behooved him to continue to follow its principles. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्ध्रुवं जन्म मृत्यसा मृतस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि. For one who has taken his death is certain, and one for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. One has to take birth according to one's activities of life, and after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, the cycle of birth and death is revolving one after the other without liberation. This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. The battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of or aggrieved at the death of his relative since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts, of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the wrong path of action. Like we have to do our duty, like doing our duty does not give us sin. That's what you want to say in this, Mataji.
Um, what is it?
Like doing our duty does not give us sinful reactions. Does that mean that the previous purport?
Oh, yes. Like for killing. We were reading that in the other purports that if a soldier is ordered to kill in his line of duty, then he doesn't get any sinful reaction. But if he goes home and he kills somebody, then he's punishable.
Yes.
Okay, mother.
It's also another example that comes to my mind. Is when a lot of
Are you getting an echo? Anybody?
No.
yeah, I am getting a now it's gone.
Is it gone now? Okay.
Oops. I was thinking about this example of when the government or the king or the government, like many countries are secular nowadays, but you still have like this death sentence. When people become very sinful, the king or the government may impose the death sentence. So the person who is carrying out killing another person, because it's on a higher authority, they don't incur sin. Whereas if you will go and kill someone, and you become sinful, you get the karma for killing a person. So in a war like that, and especially a holy war like on the Battle of Kurukshetra, where Krishna was personally present and guiding Arjuna, there's no question of being involved in sin, is it?
I'm wondering about something. For having to maintain yourself, a person has to work. And what I've run into is there's always something about the work that I had to do that was not a good idea in Krishna consciousness. And it was just part of the work. There was no way to get around it. You had to maintain yourself, and you had to come in contact with something that was not acceptable in Krishna consciousness. Like one time I had to work. I mean, I had to have money. I couldn't exist. And I was working in a motel, and everything was fine. But then they decided they wanted to serve eggs in the morning for the breakfast. Oh my God, it was horrible.
Yeah.
But I was stuck. Because I had to pay for my apartment. I had to have food. I was like, you just can't quit your job and then have nothing. Then you're out in the street. It's like, so Krishna, I just prayed. I said, it's part of my service. It's beyond me. I don't want to do this, but I have to. And I had to serve those stupid eggs to people. It was awful. They were frozen, and I just put them in a heater. But I didn't want to do that. I'm thinking maybe that was a position like Bhishmadev was. It's silly to compare me to Bhishmadev, but the
Yeah.
idea, because I'm trying to understand how these devotees would get caught like they did in Mahabharata, how Bhishmadev could be on the wrong side. And I'm thinking maybe something like that. You know, it was part of his duty. He'd already committed to perform that way, and then this other thing came in, and he couldn't get away from it.
Because you didn't agree to doing that. You know, if you had known it, that is part of your job, you would maybe consider it another job. But you
Definitely.
already in the job, and then it's become like imposed, brought in, and because of that, you can't just say, "Oh, if have to serve X, then I quit," because then you're on the street. So you just have to kind of like, you know, have to tolerate. And there's some, you know, somehow there's in all kind of karmi jobs.
There's always
So
something.
there is something,
Always.
you know, you cannot, it's not this, you know,
Not
unless
okay.
you're, yes. So I think to live in this material world and to work in it, you become implicated one way or other. But the only thing is to give the results of your work to Krishna by taking only what is necessary, absolutely necessary for you, because like that, the actions you perform become purified as well. So that is the second level. You know, first you can avoid doing things that are not completely in line with our Krishna conscious practice. And if by some circumstances, you know, very subtly or in other ways, we cannot have another way of going around it, then if we're conscious and make sure that we use the earnings in Krishna's service, I think that's the only way to avoid the bad karma. What do you think, Mataji?
The material world is a very dangerous place, you know, because
Yes.
if somebody, you know, there are 7 criminals involved in, you know, meat, fish, and eggs. There are 7
Yeah.
criminals. The one who raises the animal, the one who slaughters the animal, who transports the animal, the one who slaughters the animal, and the one that serves it, as well as the one that eats it. So
Like,
this 7,
yes. So
they're all
you know, it's very
incriminated.
difficult to completely
Sure.
avoid.
Ah,
Like myself also, I'm always threatened with this thing. You know, I'm working in a secretary job, and because if it's in a clinic, you know, for older people, but then twice or 3 times in the week the meals are delivered and they have to be like put in the fridge, you know, and then you can see they are like pre-cooked meals, you know, and it's not my job, you know. We
uh,
have like a guest, you know, a guest lady, a lady, a gastvrouw we call it in Holland, but it's her duty to kind of put everything in the fridge. But if it's not there, it is quite possible they ask me to do it, and I always pray to Krishna, Krishna, please make sure that someone else is there doing it, but I really don't want to have that duty. And somehow or other, Krishna always helps me. There's always someone else doing it up till now, and I hope to be blessed that way, because it's not something I can say, you know, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to do it, you know, because they will say, oh, well, you know, what kind of person are you? You know, you don't want to the needful. You know, the food needs to be put away, and it's not just that. It's not like surfing or anything. Just like taking it in the dispatches and putting it in the fridge, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to touch it. You know, so I hope Krishna continues saving me from having to ever do that.
it's
Please
really a
save me.
fine line. It's a fine line.
Yes.
To perform the duties and serve.
Uh,
It's a fine line.
Mataji,
Yes, Prabhupada.
I would like to add one more thing, like when you're speaking, and when I also spoke, like all those things accumulated, I just wanted to say something. Like this present, like maybe it's not too true for some people, like who are very advanced in Krishna, and they take, like, I don't know about the, like they're in so exalted position of not being intervened by activities of material world. But for a normal person who just has a normal thought of being a devotee, and he's in this material world, and he has always the, like, Maya Devi is always acting on him. Like whatever he does, it is like a chess game. Like you take one step to actually counter, against Maya. Maya actually plans for some other better step. So like we may be doing some Krishna, some service to Krishna, like no, in temples, like we can see that a lot of milk, like people actually point out that like a lot of milk is being wasted. You're just pouring milk on God and all this kind of stuff. Like that is an act that, and that blaming part is act of Maya. Like that's what I feel. Like when you're doing some good step, Maya has some other bad thing to point out at you. You're doing this, but you're doing that also. So still you want to do that, like that. So it'll make us afraid of losing the game, losing the game of life. Like it's kind of chess. That's what I feel. And after a certain time, by taking help of Krishna, we can actually defeat Maya Devi in the game of chess. That's what I feel.
Boy, you come up with some really
Amazing realization.
good ones. Yeah, like that's fault finding, and
Yeah.
fault finding is Maya. Wow. But the way you put it together has really put the whole picture, paint the picture. Yeah.
In this case, Maya
I really
found
felt it's more like some kind of chess game. There can be many there are some 8 pawns, two elephants, two horses, two ministers, and one king and one queen. So there are a set of that many people against you, and you are doing your own thing. That many people are ready in that many different ways and that many powerful ways to actually point out at you and telling, are you doing, what are you doing? Are you really sure that you want to continue this? They make us feel that, oh, what am I doing? What is this? Am I doing correct, or I'm killing myself? Or I'm that's what I feel. Like
what
practically
is this
my life
Krishna
also.
consciousness nonsense?
Yeah, even that feeling comes to many people. What is this? What the thing is that when you are in a chess, like you can actually visualize the chessboard in your mind only when you are there in Krishna consciousness. And once you want to give up the game, that's not possible, because you have to either checkmate the other guy, or either you should I should accept complete defeat by Maya. Only that is possible. And you can never put yourself out of the game. Only a person who is actually there in Krishna consciousness can visualize that game. It is not possible to move out of the game.
The Maha Mantra, everyone has their mantras. They don't realize it, but and they're material mantras mostly.
Yeah.
So the Maha Mantra, that's the one that wins the game.
That's the
Yes.
king.
We're getting
On the
these
chessboard.
mantras. What about this? What about that? They're like mantras, Maya mantras. This is Maha Mantra. Boy,
I just wanted to share that.
good stuff, boy.
Thanks for sharing.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can I move on?
No, then.
अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तानि निधनानि एव तत्र का परिदेवना. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation? Accepting this, that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of soul and the other not believing in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation in either case. No non-believers in the existence of soul are called atheists by followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet, even if, for argument's sake, we accept the atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of unmanifestation comes manifestation, just as from either air is generated from air, fire is generated from fire, water is generated from water, earth becomes manifested from the earth. Many from the earth, many varieties of manifestation takes place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation either in the stage of manifestation or unmanifestation? Somehow or the other, even in the unmanifested state, things are not lost. But at the beginning, at the end, and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle they are manifested, and this does not make any real material difference. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Antavanta ime deha, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, nityasyokta sharirina, but the soul is eternal. That we must
Remember
remember always
always.
that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king, but when we wake up, we can see that we
Yes.
are neither in the sky or nor seated on the chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of non-existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause of lamentation for the loss of the body. Mataji, I have a doubt here. like, I saw a film called Narada Samsaram. Like Narada, actually being a devotee of Krishna, wants to actually experience what is this material world and why are people entangled in that. Is that story really there? Like the story is that Narada comes to this material world actually like Narada himself, and by uh, by some as they call a series of events, he eventually get married and begets some number of children, and then after some like he carries on his with his material duty, gradually forgetting his devotional services, like and developing a huge affection for his wife and children and his other neighbors and all those people, and like maximizing his relationships. So at one time, what happens is that when he goes out to work, the fire actually is set that all his family members die in that fire, like in his house, all his family members die, and then he laments so much, and ultimately thinks that he should dip in the holy river and die ultimately. Like he goes to some river and he dips and he comes out to Krishna, telling that, oh my Krishna, this real material world is really a very bad place, and there is a lot of lamentation, and there are a lot of things which are going on there to make forget the purpose of our life. This is the story. Like I want to know this is true or not.
I'm not sure. I will have to research on that one. I think there are different ways that Lord Vishnu showed Narada Muni the material existence, but not he didn't come in his own body as Narad. It was like he made him see in a different body. It's like he was there in the he had to go and take a bath. I think the film I saw that movie you're talking about. He had to go for a bath and then he disappeared.
Yes,
Oh, he had to go and fetch water for Lord Vishnu. And then
yes,
while he
yes,
was in
yes.
the water, he kind of went into this material world plane. But I haven't found the sastric evidence for that. I'm not sure if Meenamati came across anything of that.
No, why I was thinking about that because this exam, like we were going through a lot of examples. Like one particular example is that like the thing is really not lost. That uh, what is that? Like it's a dream. That's what it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
Like so,
Experiencing that
like that is
in a
actually a
dreamlike
dream.
situation.
That is actually a dream of Narada.
Yes, that's what I
So
had
I
the
was thinking that
impression
example,
that Krishna
and
let him see it in a dream, experience it in a dream.
yes, yes.
That is also an example. I'm not that also I can't give references, but I've heard of Sankaracharya, Adi Sankaracharya, once leaving his body in samadhi and going and experiencing on another plane. It was also something to do with some material experience that he was challenged to. Someone told me you don't have any experience of that. So he left his body in samadhi and he traveled with his mind.
Yeah, yes, Mataji, another story. That is actually like Adi Shankaracharya is questioned by one of the like another, like it is some other Siddhanta. Adi Shankaracharya is actually propagating Advaita Siddhanta. Like
Yeah,
Advaita
impersonal.
Siddhanta, and some
Yeah,
other that person
monism.
who was there was propagating Dvaita Siddhanta. No, not Dvaita Siddhanta. Some other Siddhanta which was completely opposite of Advaita Siddhanta. And he had a wife. Like
Yes.
they were having an argument, and malas were put like I don't know what kind of malas. What should I say? They are said Mallipul in Telugu, but I don't know what they're called. But the one which gets it loses its freshness very fastly. That person is considered to lose, because the person who, like, when two people are arguing, they should not lose their temper and they should not get heated up, and that heat is sufficient for that flower to get brown. So
Mm.
that should not happen. Once that flower
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
and that flower, and the garland only becomes half brown, and the other half, actually the other half, the wife takes the argument into her hand and tells that, okay, she'll be asking questions about sex life, and what is that, what is this, what is that, what is
Yes,
this,
so,
and
yeah, something like that I heard.
and Ashankaracharya will tell, Amma, what are you asking me? I am a sannyasi. I am not experienced with this. Okay, then you tell that, like, then you should accept or this thing, or you should give up. Then Shankaracharya asks that, give me some time, I'll definitely answer all your questions. And he does Parakaya Pravesam, Parakaya Pravesam, like his soul transferred to some other person.
Yeah.
And that person, like and the king of some other, some I don't know what's the province, but that person comes to hunting, and he gets killed by a tiger. And after killing by a tiger, Adi Shankaracharya finds that body and he goes inside that. And he goes inside that, and being the king, he actually experiences everything with his wife. And later
Exactly.
on, and he actually completes the quest. And later on, he tells that, I am not your husband, I just came to learn. And thank you for making me learn all these things which I didn't know. And he leaves the Rajam and he goes back and he wins that argument and actually pulls that husband to his philosophy, and he becomes the first student. Like he also becomes the propagator of Advaita Siddhanta. That is the story.
Mm. Yeah, but I don't know where the reference is. I heard the story, but I have not asked which reference.
Yeah, I know the story because there was a cinema released, Adi Shankaracharya. There is a movie in
Okay.
Telugu.
Okay.
I
So we're
remember the story.
going to what about Prabhu?
Oh, there is a lot of
Echo. Can you turn your
echo.
music
Yes.
on? No, yeah. And Krishna Priya, you can read? Okay, but not
Yes. Meena Mataji, I cannot actually get what you're speaking. You're coming and going.
Yeah, it's your microphone is blocking the session. Yeah, when you're not speaking, and you probably have to turn it off unless you can use the other equipment that you have. If you use the other equipment, it's not a problem, but with this, it jams the session. So, are you there, Krishna Priya? Hello? Now nobody's there. Am I there?
I'm here. I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I just switched the sound off because
Yeah.
wanting to hear you.
Okay, we can go a little bit more. What do you think? It's 11 o'clock. Do
Yes.
you want to read Krishna Priya, read a little bit?
Okay, Mataji.
Mataji, one request from my side. Like, I want to stop the session within 10 minutes. Can you, like, is it possible?
To do what?
Stop in 10 minutes.
Yeah, you actually, people are free to come and go. You know, if others want to stay on, they can stay on. You know, if somebody has to go, then they go. You know.
Okay, Mataji, sure. Like, I don't want my mother to think that, oh, this fellow is sitting all the time on this, not studying anything.
Yeah, like playing games on the computer, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she is thinking that I am doing some unnecessary shit and wasting my time. So I don't want to tell her that I am doing this, and in the same time, I don't want to reveal all this thing. I don't
Okay.
want to stop all.
Okay. So we're ready. Another verse. Krishna Priya Guru.
Okay. आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद् वदति तथैव चान्यम् आश्चर्यवत् चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वापि एनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Purport. Since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of the Upanishads, it is not surprising to find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. Shravan ayapi bahudbhir yo na labhya shranvantopi bahavo yah na vidyu आश्चर्य वक्ता कुशलोष्य लब्धा आश्चर्य ज्ञाता कुशलानुशिष्ट. The fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Men with poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lessons even to Brahma, the first living being in the universe. Owing to a gross material conception of things, most men in this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful, either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matter for sense gratification, that they have very little time to understand the question of self-understanding, even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. Perhaps one has no idea that one must think of the soul and also make a solution of the material miseries. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the supersoul and the atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the soul, the supersoul, the atomic soul, their respective functions, relationships, and all other major and minor details. And it is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul, and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of the self, however, is to accept the statements of the Bhagavad Gita, spoken by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being deviated by other theories. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way. I think we read this before.
That's all right.
Mataji, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Mataji, there is a statement here, and it is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from the knowledge of the soul. Like this states that like there are these can be understood in two ways. One of them is that I want to tell which understanding is right. Like one of them is that there are no people in this world or in the universe that they have not benefited, like completely having complete knowledge of the soul, they are not benefited. And one more understanding is that there is no deeper, you should not you cannot maybe there is no ultimate victory or something, like you need not actually worry about the complete knowledge of the soul. You just know a small, to what extent it should be known. What way should I take, Mataji?
I didn't completely understand the question because
should I understand that this statement is actually limited to the material world? Like in this material world, there are no people. Like there is very difficult to find people with who have benefited with the complete knowledge of the soul. Or should I understand that there is no necessity for understanding understanding the knowledge, understanding the soul completely? You can understand the soul to a little extent. That is enough.
Actually, I would think the person who understands fully, if they, as Prabhupada says, man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects, I think in that case of a self-realized person. So it is very difficult to find a self-realized person in this world. Mataji, Meena Mataji, you can elaborate?
Yeah, that's when Prabhupada ends his discussion here, that it's very difficult to know Krishna. A great deal of penance and sacrifice in this life or previous lives. However, by the association of the pure devotee, the causeless mercy of the pure devotee, then he can be known actually very easily. So that's how valuable the association of the pure devotee is. And it's not just, what I'm getting is also not, it's not just the difference between a spiritualist and a materialist, but even there are gradations among spiritualists. Some have more or less a realization of the Brahma Jyoti, and then others have a realization of the Super Soul, and then others have a realization that Krishna is the personality of Godhead, but it's more like in a Vaikuntha understanding of awe and reverence. And then we understand from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers that the actual highest understanding is the Vraj form of the Lord. So that comes by the pure devotee.
Mataji, I have a lot of background noise coming from outside today.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you're being hindered because of it.
It's not coming through.
I hope the computer is not. I hope my microphone is not picking it up.
Hare Krishna. Let me see. Maybe it's my microphone. Hare Krishna. No,
Oh, it's coming here from my outside, you know, and I can't block it. But if it's not bothering you, then fine. Then I'm happy.
We don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Thanks.
Like only one person can talk at a time on this software, because when the sound is coming from there, then all the other sounds kind of. It's the technology. It's still very crude. At least we have something.
Yes. So my question, Mataji, because there's like this a self-realized soul. There are different levels of self-realization. Because it's also like Tatvam Tadgyama Advayam Brahmeti Paramat Imeti Bhagwaniti Shabdite. So some first like the self, you know, you realize the Brahman aspect, the Paramatma aspect, and then you have the person who realizes Krishna in full. So then, because at one point, can a person be called self-realized? If one is Brahman realized, can you say the person is then self-realized?
Well, I'm looking at. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking at the sentence. Prabhupada kind of covers it all. He says, "It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the soul, the super soul, the atomic soul, and their respective functions, relationships, and all other major and minor details."
So that implies complete realization of the personality of God and the soul.
Another sentence, and he says, "It is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul and is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects." So there's that other verse in the Gita, out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor perfection, and of those who achieve perfection, hardly one knows Krishna.
One knows me in truth. Yes. Bahunam Janmananante. No, it's not that one. That is after many lifetimes. This is another verse, yes. But like out of so many persons, one may look for perfect knowledge, and then out of such people, only hardly one knows me in truth. I don't remember the Sanskrit verse. I usually try to remember the first line, but it's not Bahunam. Thank you, Mataji. I hope Anant has his question answered too.
And sometimes if we're not completely satisfied, within the next few days or the next little while, the information comes.
Yes.
The realization come. It doesn't like always happen like right now when I want it. It kind of sits there. It's like making sweet rice, you know. It kind of simmers. You got to stir it a little bit, you know, and then okay. So.
Mataji, I think you are really a good mind reader. You could really understand something, you know. Something was messy inside my mind. I was struggling to actually, you know, I was actually excavating a lot of, there are infinite meanings in this line. I was really actually thinking, what is that actually? It can be also like, I have one last thing to say, Mataji, like there can be like, he is actually telling that a person who is completely educated of the soul, completely knowledgeable about has complete knowledge about the soul, is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality, or the Super Soul himself. There is no other personality like that. And we can also do like from this. I think I should not concoct, but the thing is that I don't have clarity. That's the reason I'm concocting. Like thing is that being 100% realized about the soul is the Supreme Soul himself. And we are all able to reach him. Like one should be, should have the knowledge of the perfect to reach the perfect. So Krishna is so merciful upon us that even if we know a glimpse of the perfect, he is giving us the perfect. So that's what I'm thinking, Mataji. Is this ideology right?
also we can never know Krishna in full because he's always expanding. You know, Hari Anant, Hari Katha Anant, you know, it's like how will we ever be able to grasp, you know, the person who is unlimited and expanding unlimitedly? You know, so whatever is there within the ability of a person to know, of a jiva to know, is the pure devotee in complete devotion, you know, can know that. And
Krishna,
so if Krishna allows, you can only know him so far as he allows you to know him.
he
Yeah.
reveals. As he's pleased
Yes,
by the devotional attitude, he'll reveal. Yeah, he wants to, but it has to be the devotion and yeah.
because he never reveals himself to one who is not fit. You know, ye yathamam prapadyante tam tathaima bhajami, and he says, you know, according to the devotion, he reveals, he makes himself
Well, now
known.
he reveals himself to the demons.
Not in the same
Mataji,
way.
this is, the material world and spiritual world are really comparable to each other. Like whatever happens there happens here also. But thing is that the purpose over there is totally different. They are all transcendental. The thing is that when we are it is very similar, Mataji. Like consider Krishna as a person. Like he is a person. We cannot consider him to be impersonal. He is a person. He is so because when we have a body, our creator should also have a body. So like that, when Krishna is doing something, when Krishna, our qualities are very similar to his qualities. We are I am not 100% aware of Meena Mataji, or neither Meena Mataji is 100% aware of me. I am only allowing her to see the devotional, the devotee Anantara. I am not allowing her to see the other Anantara, and like that. So Krishna is also like that. Like maybe he is allowing certain people to see only certain part of him, not the other part. Like not the other part means I don't mean to say that Krishna is a bad person or he is hiding the bad part. Not like that. He is hiding some other things, showing us few things, giving a little mercy. Like that. Is that true, Manjaji? Like is this kind of comparison?
An ocean.
Is this kind of comparison allowed?
He's like an ocean. Like an ocean. Wherever you contact and Krishna is there. In maybe one way this way and in another aspect that way. He's unlimited. Where as they surrender to him, you reward them accordingly. So how can you want to swallow the ocean?
No, Manjaji.
Little drop,
I think I.
little drop, little drop. Krishna is the ocean.
Because we are so limited and Krishna is unlimited, we can never, you know, we can never perceive him in total, I think. So he is according to our desire, how we want to see him. Here he falls like that. You know, like that's what Prabhupada explains in the beginning. You know, we devotees want to see him as a, you know, the different as a child, as a father, as a child, as a friend. You know, so Krishna reciprocates like that. You know, and he becomes. He reveals to himself like we want to see him, and reciprocates in that kind of relationship, because we can't have all of it at the same time. You know, the Chandrash is there, is the Supreme Father, and then we go, you know, we can develop Saki this for different parental affection, you know, and friendship, like that, step by step. And Madhurya Ras is said to be the highest, which is far beyond my ever imagining something like that. So you know, be able to see Krishna in that thing. But it's not between reach, because that is what Rupanuga, Srila Rupa Goswami went that far. You know, we are in a sampradaya in which it's possible to develop that highest rasa, in fact. Although I'm not, yeah, so there.
In another place, I remember Srila Prabhupada says the devotee is like a shark that swims in the ocean. He's swimming in the ocean of Krishna. We learn to swim in the ocean, dive and surface. And also there's the analogy of the swan who puts his
Yes.
back in the stems of the lotus flower.
Yeah,
So,
that's that prayer of Srila
no,
Prabhupada chants
no
all the time.
Krishna like that.
Krishna Tadiya Padapankasha.
We can't, put Krishna in a bottle or a package or something.
No.
Mataji, I need to go. Sorry, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
It's
You have to go.
ecstasy,
Hare
Anand.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
He has such fresh on look.
He's a little shark.
Yeah. His mind is working and then he kind of
Hare Krishna.
sees things in his own way, but it's very personal.
Yes. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
So, Mataji, that was more than an hour. We have been also
All right. A little
associating.
over an hour. It
You
was
didn't
good.
read Mataji today.
Hare Krishna. I'm reading all day.
We are learning to read under your supervision.
Reading all day. Hare Krishna. So I'm starting Chaitanya Charitamrita now, reading.
Recording?
Yeah.
I still have to go back and listen to all your recordings.
I don't know. I hope I live long enough.
Well, if you're not there, they will be still there, Mataji. And people will be able to hear them.
Krishna. I'm going to stop.
It's a wonderful service.
Hare Krishna.